Welcome to the Football Forecast, your ultimate guide to the NFL week ahead. Get ready as we dive deep into the biggest matchups, analyze key player performances, and break down the strategies that could make or break your favorite team's chances. Whether you're looking to dominate your fantasy league, make smart picks and bets, or simply stay ahead of the game, we've got you covered with insights and predictions. So buckle up, football fans. It's time to get your game face on for another action-packed week in the NFL. While only one team can hoist the trophy at the end, it all starts with the forecast.
Yes, here we go. The NFL postseason starts now. And welcome to the wild card edition of the Football Forecast here on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. We got a full house here as we have a lot to dive into today, and a very special episode because this is one of the, I think maybe the first football forecast, not Super Bowl related, that we are doing live on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/ETB Network. And also streamed on social media, on Twitter to several of our accounts, TFB Forecast ETB, ETB Network, and so much more. And speaking of which, you can watch all Empty the Bench Network programming at youtube.com/ETB Network. Where if you are new, please do leave us a like. Also subscribe if you're new, and make sure you have your notifications set so you know when all of our programming is going to be coming out. You can follow us on social media at TFB Forecast ETB to get our picks and moments of the show and so much more. And also, you can also catch this show live as we will be live right through the Super Bowl. And if you can't watch us, listen to the Football Forecast wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Well, guys, we made it through the regular season, and now it is postseason time. And it's a little bit of a different animal here in the postseason because we have some new teams in it. We have some of our guys representing some of the playoff teams in this one. So Ben, Zan, Mike, and Grant. So that'll be exciting. We have some familiar faces in the playoffs. We have some newbies in the playoffs. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to the wild card round, this has also been a very, very busy week in terms of news in the NFL, and more specifically, coach firings. And we had a bunch of them happen. The Atlanta Falcons fired Raheem Morris right before the Sunday Night Football game in Week 18 last week, and then Black Monday came, and as the week has gone on, we have seen more and more to the point where even on Thursday, news came out that Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins are parted ways. Well, the Dolphins fired him, but some big names now out on the head coaching front. John Harbaugh, Mike McDaniel, Kevin Stefanski, and actually now 8 total teams. So a quarter of the league now is looking for a head coach heading into the off season. So before we get to the games, let's talk a couple of minutes about this. Nick, we'll start with you. This has been quite the week in terms of teams now looking for coaches, but some big names, some long tenured guys, some guys that haven't been around for a while with their team gone. What do you make of all this?
Yeah, it's been a wild NFL head coaching Black Monday. I didn't expect it to start on the weekend. That's usually it happens on Monday, but we got a lot of names hitting the wire. Stefanski, am I really surprised that he hit the wire? No. Everyone keeps saying, oh, he's a 2-time head coach of the year. Obviously, that doesn't matter. If you don't bring home a Super Bowl title or you don't win in the playoffs, it doesn't really matter. First of all, no one succeeds in Cleveland. So that's why they call him the Cleveland Clown Show. So
Cleveland Clown Show.
The Ravens, I think Harbaugh got a sour groove there. I don't think that was fair. I understand why they did it because there's pressure to win a Super Bowl title, but at the same time, Harbaugh's going to be one of the hottest commodities in this coaching cycle. I'm going to say
the hottest. White hot.
Hold on, let Nick finish. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm going to say to the 2 Giant fans sitting here that you would be a dummy not to make that move happen as soon as humanly possible to make him the head coach of the New York Giants. Heck, I would I would run across traffic and sacrifice my own body to make him the Jets head coach right now. But I know that's not going to happen. But he's Giants head coach. Giants fans, you should be begging for John Harbaugh to be the head coach of the New York Giants.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Finish up.
I was just going to.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, live podcasting for you.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel. Is anyone really surprised he got fired? No.
No.
Even though I would blame Tua more for that situation more than McDaniel.
Yes, I can agree with that.
But you're not going to
get. They were going to move on from Tua, but I guess
you
all
can't.
of a sudden I guess the dead cap is going to make it that Tua stays and McDaniel goes.
We're talking about $99 million in dead cap money.
Oh, God, that's a lot. And I was going to say, it doesn't help that McDaniel was a knucklehead on top of it.
And he also has guaranteed money, I think, coming up very soon also, which is for the year after the upcoming year. So they're stuck. So I think the Ravens is the only one I would question out of these three that are listed here. Is there anything else that really surprised me? The Titans one we already knew about.
One we knew about.
Yeah.
There's one we expected, probably.
Yeah, so that's pretty much how I see it. John Harbaugh is going to be the hottest commodity out there. That's where I would leave it.
Yes.
Yep.
I think when we're here next week, I don't think we'll have a definitive answer because Harbaugh's not going to be interviewing with anybody, I think, until early next week. But the teams looking for coaches are the Cardinals because they got rid of Gannon, the Falcons, we said with Morris, the Ravens, the Browns, the Raiders, Pete Carroll, one and done there, the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Titans. The big name obviously is Harbaugh. The thing I think about it, I don't know really if it was even what happened with Tyler Luke missing that field goal at the very end, which sent the Steelers into the playoffs. I feel like the word that I use to describe the situation is stale. 18 years there with the Ravens. And the thing this year was, and I felt like the Ravens were a team that really could make the AFC Championship. I went into the season thinking they were the most complete team, but you had a defense that did not play great for the most part of the year. Lamar Jackson wasn't really healthy for the most part of this year, and there have been speculation that, is there a rift between Lamar and Harbaugh? But I think I've seen this in other teams and in other sports where we've seen that coaches last for a long period of time, and if you just can't take the next step, it just grows to be stale. So I wasn't surprised with him. Mike McDaniel, who was the other big one that got fired on Thursday, he did everything possible to save his job. After the Dolphins fired the GM, they kept him, and he actually had a good run there for a while, but ultimately came up flat. And so we'll see where he goes. I think my gut tells me that McDaniel's going to go as an OC somewhere. I think that makes the most sense for him. Stefan, I think if you're the Giants, obviously Harbaugh's got to be one, but for the Giants, and Tom, I'll go to you right after I say this. The most important thing for the Giants, I believe, is if they don't get a Harbaugh, is to get an experienced guy. So I would not be disappointed if we get Stefanski as well. I think, though, and we learned this with Ben's Patriots, getting an experienced guy for Drake May is and an experienced guy with success is key. And we saw that with Vrabel and May. And I think that bringing in like a Harbaugh would be great to go for Jackson Dart and company.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's pretty clear on the Giants side of things. They're starting to try and move some, do some moving and grooving now that Harbaugh has become available. Although I think Miami might have moved on from McDaniel doing the same, but I don't understand. Miami's not going to be doing much when they've got that $100 million cap hit just sitting there for them in Tua Tagovailoa. It makes no sense. Now, the thing to understand with the Giants, and I agree. If you want my three of the coaches, my top three in order, Harbaugh, Stefanski, maybe McDaniel, but I think I'm with you guys in that McDaniel will have to settle for an OC position, but I don't think he's going to go for that first. I think he's going to resist as much as possible and try and get ahead.
He's interviewing for the Titans job next week.
Oh,
there you go.
That just shows how desperate the Titans are.
Yes.
By the way,
Harbaugh.
Go ahead, Tom. Finish.
Harbaugh with the experience. Stefanski's experience too, and honestly, like Nick was saying, not all of that in Cleveland's their fault. He's not the one who gave Deshaun Watson that multi-million-dollar contract.
Thanks,
That's
Haslam.
the team. Exactly, it's the Haslams.
Just one thing I forgot. One thing I forgot to say at the beginning also, because we're live and we don't do this very often, if you want to be interactive and live in our show as we continue to talk about these comments, we'll read comments as they come in. We'll do our best, but continue.
Even though I'll try to wrap up quickly, but with the experienced coaches, I think the important thing for Giants brass, for Mara, Tish, for Shane, and for Giants fans, just because we're getting an experienced guy does not mean that our rebuild is going to move quicker and quicker. Because, we have the development of Dart, but obviously there are still some injury issues. There are some holes that have to be filled. And in the words of my man Woody Page, check the schedule, because the Giants' road schedule next year is awful for them.
Ooh, yikes.
So it's going to take multiple years for the Giants to get back. And it's not going to be a one and change.
Yeah. Guys, I know everybody wants to get involved here real quick. So let me get everybody real quick, and then we'll, on your shows, you can definitely spend more time. Ben, real quick on all this, what do you make of all the moves?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a carousel for a reason. Thankfully I don't have to be in the same position for my team this offseason. Johnny and Tom, you guys got to feel how I felt last year, and I agree with you guys, at least for sure. I think John Harbaugh could definitely be this year's Mike Vrabel when it comes to just the availability, because I don't know specifically why Harbaugh actually left. Like, they didn't really give the overall reason why specifically. But I do think, like you mentioned, Johnny, like, it kind of ran its course for 18 years. Like, they want kind of a new voice. The one name specifically that I definitely am looking at is Cliff Kingsbury. I know a lot of people specifically are very about him, but he did really well at Jaden Daniels a couple of years ago, and he is now on the move. So I'm very curious specifically about like where he would go. McDaniel, I'm definitely kind of up and down in terms of like what he wants to do. I think that there's definitely going to be head coaching opportunities out there. I definitely wouldn't rule out him with Cleveland to go with Shador. I think that definitely could be very fascinating, because McDaniel definitely is a very schemish type of offense, and I think Shador might be very efficient with something like that. And then Stefanski, apparently the Ravens were interviewing with Stefanski today, which I was very interested about that, especially for in division. But I think level of suitors out there. So really quickly, because I know obviously everybody else wants to go. If I had to rank in terms of like preference wise, it's obviously Harbaugh's number 1, Stefanski number 2, and then like 3 you could kind of go different routes. Wouldn't shock me if Pete Carroll gets another look for someone that's more contending. He's definitely a lot older. But you can kind of have a wild card in terms of who you want at 3.
Right.
Yep. Zan?
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is pretty crazy for sure. But I will say this, given the position that my team was in a year ago, I think whoever gets who they feel is the right guy, I think it's going to be about sustained success and knowing that this is going to take time, especially for some of these organizations that we've mentioned. I think one of these teams that's going to have leverage is the Baltimore Ravens, though, just because it's a very attractive job. They've been good for a very long time. It's been the last couple of years that they have some struggles, but I think if you can put the right pieces around Lamar Jackson, I think long-term in 4 to 6 years, they're going to be okay. So out of all the teams that are currently in the carousel, I think whatever the Ravens' decision or whichever decision they end up making is going to be the right one, because they know that the integrity of the organization is at stake. So that's all I have to say about the moves.
Okay, Grant?
Yeah, all you guys are making a great points here. But I have to say this. John Harbaugh is the belle of the ball in this coaching cycle. But I am kind of surprised that you guys didn't mention a name that I'm about to mention. And it's actually Clint Kubiak. He is one of my up and coming head coach candidates. And he's doing great things in Seattle, which help his case. But the most important thing when it comes to becoming a head coach is the staff that you build to make sure that you become a successful head coach. And Clint Kubiak can use someone to his advantage, and that is his dad. His dad coached in the league for however long he coached, and I'm sure that he could, use his dad as a staff building advisor. When he gets a head coaching job, that might be this year, that might be in a couple years. I can imagine it being this year with how many openings there are. I don't know which one I'd put him down for, but I don't think there's ever going to be another year where there's a third of the league has or a fourth of the league has openings. But I mean, the one that shocked me the most was the Ravens. Honestly, I did not see that coming. Dolphins, it took you long enough. I'm sorry.
All right.
And whoever is the coach of the Browns, I say this with the most kindness in my heart. Good luck.
Okay.
Because you are screwed.
Yep.
And
Mike, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me
one more thing.
Real quick.
Oh.
Johnny and Tom, you're gonna like this. Give Harbaugh a blank check. That's what you need to do to get him in New York.
We'll see. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not the most knowledgeable on coaches. I stick to the player aspect of football, and but Harbaugh getting fired, that surprised me. Like, that was like the only one I was like, wow, okay. But I mean, he's gonna be the top candidate. I hope the Giants get him. I want Jackson Dart to have a good coach. So, because Jackson Dart went to Ole Miss fans. So, I love Jackson Dart. So,
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I want Harbaugh to go to the Giants really bad. That's all I got to say.
Excuse me.
All right, and Christy, you can wrap this one up.
Okay, all these head coaches, the big one, like everyone's saying, is John Harbaugh getting fired from Baltimore, because I don't think any of us saw it coming. If he goes to the Giants, that means trouble for my team in particular, because I'm sure John Harbaugh is going to whip up a game plan, and is going to kick our butts. But he could do that practically anywhere. So we'll definitely see what happens on the coaching front.
Yeah, and it may not be over depending on the results of these wild card games. That's a nice little transition. So let's get to the games itself. And before we do, let me go over the standings from the regular season. So if you're just joining us for the first time, so we've been doing this all for the entire 272 game regular season. And Mike ended up our winner in the regular season. Mike went 140, 130 for 314 points. So congratulations, Michael. Christy ended up in second with 282. Nick Morganson, 278. Zan and I both had 276. Grant, 273. Tom, 270. Nick D, 265. And Ben, 256. By the way, Tom, congratulations to you and me. You got your first winning week of the season.
In week 18, of course.
Hey, some momentum into the playoffs.
Late than never.
Hey,
we keeping the book right now. We ask.
You know what, though? Maybe that'll be a little bit of momentum getting into the playoffs. But let's do this thing. So just like we did in the regular season.
I didn't even know I jumped over Nick D and won until you told me.
Well, there was a reason, but I won't get into it here. But nevertheless, so we will continue this tradition into the playoffs. Every game is lockable. So we'll see what we do, and we either can pick the spread or the total. That's been a new element this season, and I think it's been a nice little addition. So, you guys ready for the playoffs?
Ready. Let's do it.
All right, here we go, and we start Wild Card Weekend with a rematch of Week 13. Zan, it is in fact a Joe Davis, Greg Olson, Pam Oliver, Christina Pink special on Fox, as we've got Matt Stafford and the Rams taking on Bryce Young and the Panthers at Bank of America Stadium. And just like in Week 13, the Rams are 10.5-point favorites.
Yeah, I think it's going to go a lot differently than the first time these two teams played. I think that I think the Rams have, I think the Panthers have kind of shown their true selves, at least the last couple weeks. And I think the Rams are a team on a mission. If you actually listen to my latest edition of Andrew's Breakdowns, I have the Rams winning the Super Bowl. So with that said, I like the Rams to cover this number on the road in advance in the playoffs against the Panthers team that I think is very young. They're going to grow in the offseason, but I think it's a little bit too early for them to shine on the big stage. So give me the Rams and give me the more experienced quarterback.
Christy.
definitely. Zan got a point. I mean, the Rams. I mean, they're now my pick to go to the Super Bowl, and I think Matthew Stafford is the MVP. I'm gonna go Rams negative 10.5.
Nick.
The number's high. And I know I say that a lot. In case you were tuning in for the first time, I think spreads are high when they're double digit. I like the Rams to win. I do. But I was going back and forth and saying, do I love the number? That you have to remember, the playoffs are a different animal in any sport you play. Just because they give you a high number, this would be a different game. By the way, didn't they lose to the Panthers this season also? So
yeah, I think so.
That scares me a little bit too. And actually, I'm going to change this slightly. So I like the Rams to win, but I think the Panthers are going to cover.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we look at this matchup, it's tough because just like we saw, just like this matchup in Week 13, not many of us are giving the Panthers a chance. Mm-hmm. And I think this time, when you look at it, the reason why a lot of people aren't giving the Panthers a chance is because of their play since the first meeting. The Panthers, they backed into the playoffs. They're lacking some metrics in this game. And even when you look at the Rams, I mean, I know they lost consecutive games before recovering last week, but the Rams are also only 5-4 this season on the road. But I think the only way I can see the Panthers keeping this one is if we have if lightning does strike twice, meaning that if Matt Stafford throws a pick six or the Panthers hit some big fourth down plays.
Ooh.
But I just don't see that happening. I know the Rams defense has declined a little bit, but I don't see Bryce Young being able to throw deep against this defense. I just don't see Stafford and Sean McVay having another Carolina clunker. So I will lay the 10.5 once again with the Rams. Yes, and that is true. Devontae Adams is back for the Rams. Great point there. And we look at your comments on YouTube or on Twitter as well.
Bears fans will love this one. They added this too.
That's all.
Down.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Green Bay.
Yes.
I know what that means. And we'll get to that game next, so stay tuned. Ben?
Yeah, so I just want to shout out Tom with the playoff scenarios because I was not on the last couple. And the reason why I'm saying it is because the Panthers got in last week, even though that they lost, which I think pretty much kind of tells everything you need to know about the NFC South.
That's it.
However, the Rams, obviously, I think everybody's very high on them, including myself. And they obviously they beat the Cardinals last week. I mean, that's really not, kind of surprising. But they did lose to Atlanta a couple weeks ago, and that definitely was kind of a game that kind of worried me. But they're still playing really, really well. The thing about Devontae Adams, and of course the comment was really, really important, is how is he going to be? Because I think the Rams really rely a lot on Devontae and deservedly so. Obviously, one of the best in the game. The Rams I just think are the much better team. The 10.5 I think is a little too much for my liking, so I'm actually going to go with the Panthers to cover the number. I'm going to go the route with Nick. I was thinking about the Rams actually fully cover the 10.5, but I think the Panthers is a very tough team at home. And I think specifically that's kind of the reason why. I don't think they're the better team, but I think they're going to keep it close enough where that 10.5 specifically, for me, I think I feel comfortable about it because the Panthers somehow pull it out. I still have the points there. So I'm going to take the Rams, but Panthers come.
Tom.
And you said the point I was going to make, Ben. You were talking about the state of the NFC South. The thing is, the Rams killed Well, here's the thing. The Rams killed the Buccaneers. They killed the Saints earlier this season. But the last few weeks where they've played NFC South teams, the Panthers and the Falcons, they just completely gave in on themselves. Yeah. It was unbelievable to the point where, kind of mentioned it last week on our Week 18 show, where not just for seeding, but for momentum, McVay was right. He needed to play his starters to get some momentum against a very weak Cardinals team.
True.
So I look at that number. That number is scaring me, especially because the Panthers had such strong momentum in the second half of the season. Now, it definitely faltered. They put up a hell of a first half against the Seahawks, but then that collapsed. And then they collapsed in a game where all they needed to do was win against the Buccaneers. They couldn't do that, and they had to hope for the Falcons to beat the Saints on Sunday just to get into the playoffs. The Rams should be the much better team, but we have seen a couple of times, like the games I've said of late, where They just haven't been able to do it. And by the way, if you want a little bit of history, teams who have a losing record going into the postseason on a full regular season since the 2010 Seahawks were the first to do it. 2-2 in the first round. 2010 Seahawks won their wild card round game. The 2014 Panthers won their wild card game. That was a year before they went 15-1 in the season, went to the Super Bowl. The last two teams to do it, though, the two teams in the 2020s lost in the wild card round. Here's what I think. I think the Rams are definitely the better team, but I'm going to join the express of Ben and Nick, and I think the Panthers, this is going to be a one-possession game. The Panthers are going to keep this close. It's up to the Rams to Panthers are the crazy upset. Well, you know what? There are people in the NFL prediction space who are predicting the Panthers to pull off the upset in this one.
Okay.
So my point is, this is one of those Johnny, Nick, and Zad, the log timers know. This is one of those picks where I tell the team, prove me wrong. I know the Rams are going to win, and they're my Super Bowl pick on the NFC side too. But prove me wrong. Prove me you can dominate against the team that you should dominate.
Yes.
Fair.
So you're taking the Panthers to cover?
Rams win, but I'm going to take the Panthers plus 10.5.
Okay. Grant?
Yeah, I mean, I am gonna join majority of the group here with the Rams winning, but the Panthers covering, because I mean, to put into perspective, now last time the Rams, I'm pretty sure, were missing some people, and I'm not sure, but I want to say that one of those people was Devontae Adams the last time the Panthers played.
Yes.
Okay, so having him out helped them out with the Panthers win. When the Panthers and Rams played last time, the Panthers won 31-28. So that should just tell you that this is going to be a much closer game than this 10.5 point spread. So I do believe that the Rams will win because they have Devontae Adams, and he is, even though he is a 32-year-old, declining wide receiver, he is still Devontae Adams, and he can do miraculous things. So I'm going to take the Rams to win, but the Panthers to cover here.
And Mike?
Yeah, Tom took my stat, but I have another one. So teams there's been 4 teams with a losing point differential in the playoffs, and they've all won the first round.
Wow.
Ooh.
Panthers have a losing point differential, so I think the Rams win. I said this in the first show. What was it? The hot takes.
Yeah, the NFC preview show.
The preview show.
Yeah, the preview show. I said the Rams, if Stafford's healthy, they win the Super Bowl, which I still do think that. Don't get me wrong, but my Bears are now in the playoffs, so I think my Bears are going to win. But anyways, but I think the Panthers have a really, really good shot here. But Devontae Adams is back. They got their touchdowns now. I mean, he led the NFL in receiving touchdowns, right?
He was up there, like top 3.
Top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm actually staying away from the spread here. I'm going to go over.
Okay.
Big
I'm going to go over
surprise.
here.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So he's going to go over. He's got 27-20 Panthers. Well, that hits over. That's the over. That's all you need.
That's all I need.
Must listen to our shows, definitely.
Absolutely. So it's a true split decision amongst all of us here there at Bank of America Stadium. All right, Mike, I ended with you there, and I'll start with you here. It is, in fact, one more time this season, an Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung special on Amazon Prime Video. The NFL's oldest rivalry meets for just the 3rd time in the playoffs. Jordan Love's Packers against Caleb Williams and yours and Zan's and Grant's Bears. And yes, the 2nd straight game where the road team is the favorite. Packers laying 1.5 points.
Yeah. So the Bears versus Packers, game 3. Most important one of the season. Iceman does the job. comes out, wins with Rome back.
Kyler back.
Gordon's coming back. We're healthy. Nick, you know what I'm doing. Get it ready.
Yeah,
Bears plus 1.5 lock of the week.
Yeah.
Bears come out at Soldier.
I could have told you that from a mile away.
Bears come out at Soldier, beat the Packers again at Soldier. We have another home game.
Okay.
So I think Bears win easy.
Zan.
Yeah, this is obviously, I think, the best game of the entire first round. And I'm not just saying it because of the team I support. It's simply because you have literally the oldest rivalry in the NFL on a headline stage in the postseason, which is something that's very rare. And given that these two teams split earlier this season, I think there's going to be a lot of bad blood and a lot of stakes here. But something tells me, though, that the Bears are going to continue their theme where they're just simply never out of a game. And I actually think the Bears are going to have to come from behind and win this game. I do see the Bears covering the number and winning outright. And I wasn't going to go as far as to go for the lock of the week, so I won't do that. But I will take the Bears to just do enough to win the game and advance to the divisional round. Give me the Bears to win 17-10 over the Packers.
Oh, and a lower score.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Grant?
Yeah. Okay. Not only do I agree with both of the guys that went before me, but this is very important because I know a couple of Packers fans, and one of them is my old football coach. Well, actually, I should say because Michael was also coached by him, and he just will always give me, crap about being a Bears fan, and I rightfully so give him crap about being a Packer fan. But last time the Packers played, he texts me, at like halftime, how am I feeling? Because the Bears are down, 10-0 or whatever the score was at that point, and I put my phone away. I'm like, I'm not talking to you right now because there's no point to talk to you because they're gonna come back and they could win. So they did sadly lose. But that is not happening this time because we are gonna get back our nickel corner and one of our most important pass catchers. In fact, the most important. So I am gonna copy Michael and make the Bears my lock of the week.
So is that a fan pick or an analyst pick, Grant?
I'm gonna say
be honest.
Pick.
Okay. Christy, go ahead.
Excuse me. I mean, I hate the Packers with a passion. I do. And I don't think they have enough to win. So I'm going to make this quick before I start coughing again. Bears plus 1.5.
All right. Nick?
Yeah, this is not going to be a surprise. I'm the complete opposite. I just have I have no faith.
Excuse me.
I have no faith in the Bears in this matchup. The last two matchups tell you that they were going in a little bit cold going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. First of all, playoff experience. Right there alone tells you the difference between Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has been having some issues when it comes to the clutch and some of the decision making down the stretch in a lot of games, which has been a problem. Also, I think the Packers have more weapons, whether it's offensively or defensively in this matchup.
True. That is not true.
We do have someone who's in the comments pointing out certain things.
There
you go.
Well, let Nick go.
Wait, let Nick make his pick.
Okay.
So, I don't know. The experience factor is what's pushing me towards the Packers because what experience does Caleb have? Caleb in clutch moments has come up smaller than mini me. Yes, there's a Stephen A reference for you.
Mini me.
But until I see Caleb come up in a clutch moment, I can't pick the Bears in the playoffs right now. So I am taking the Packers to cover in this match.
What was that guy's comment? Let me just read
Okay,
it.
they have now thrown like 4 or 5 comments out.
All right,
Here's-
better run game, better receivers, better tight ends, better secondary. Bears are better every group except D line. What exactly do the
I
Packers
disagree.
I
I
don't know
disagree.
The one thing
I mean,
I'll
the
say.
Pack-
So the Packers, the 4-game losing streak that the Packers are on, I get that, but remember, Jordan Love is returning after he suffered a concussion in Week 16, and the Packers are on their way to winning that game if he doesn't get concussed.
Correct.
Right.
Christian Watson is back, and if he doesn't get hurt in Denver, I think the Packers win that game. Zach Tom, their best offensive lineman, is back, and as great as the Bears' defense is when it comes to takeaways, it gives up a lot of yards and a lot of points. What's the weather situation there too in Green Bay? In Chicago, are they calling?
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be really cold.
Snowing.
Okay.
Snowing.
Snow.
So I do like
again,
the under as a play, but this is a very tough decision. But because those guys are back for the Packers, and I think those guys being out made a difference as to why they were struggling. In Week 18, they didn't play anybody, so I don't take anything away from that game against the Vikings.
no.
And I thought I was getting them as a dog here, so I think this is a little telling too that they're actually a slight favorite. I'm also going to take the money.
Well, it'd be good if I
Alright.
was paying attention on my own juice, not looking at the chat.
Well, I did say under. I was trending.
You're being called nuts in the comments, Nick. So
Yes, you are.
I'm gonna take the money.
That's
Ben?
not going to be the first or the last time.
There we go.
I got a quick question to my Bears fans. I have 2 things. I have the good
Okay.
news and I have the bad news. What do you want to hear first?
Bad news.
Bad news first.
Bad news. If I had to choose a game to pick, I'm picking the Packers. What's the
Okay.
good news? I am not picking the Packers as my team in this. I'm going with a total of an over/under, and I'm picking the over in this game.
Oh.
Listen, I think both
That
teams
works.
specifically have the Packers specifically cannot stop without Micah Parsons. It's been clear. Their defense specifically
Yes.
put up a ton when it comes to passing, a lot of explosive plays, and that's obviously the reason why Caleb Williams did the passing to Moore in the last matchup was a massive explosive play. The Bears give up a lot of yards too. A lot of their games that they have won, they've won by high-scoring games. So specifically, when I'm looking at this type of game, no matter what the weather's going to be, I like points here as the over, no matter what, because both teams have their own deficiencies. So I'm taking the over.
Tom.
What's up?
I was just going to say, because there's comments coming saying, seriously, we need to address this. How are we saying Caleb isn't clutch? Look at some of the moments in some of the games down the stretch. The defense is what's winning you guys games right now, currently.
He has
Not-
6 game
I
winning
can
drive.
admit that.
I think it's 50-50. He's had moments where he's been clutch and
Six
there's
game
moments where
winning
he
drives.
hasn't.
I'm just gonna say that.
Okay.
I think he has been a little bit more clutch than I think he does deserve a little bit of credit for
Yeah.
He's also
back.
cost
At the end of the
some
day,
games.
even in that
He's
week
goofed
16
up.
Hold on, let me finish. Even in that Week 16 game with when Watson got hurt, he still had to lead them back, and he did the job. It doesn't matter what happened. That was just he did the job. So it has to be fair. Now you can also say Week 18 too against a team that had nothing to play for, but he's had his moments, so you have to be fair about that. All right, Tom, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. And he actually, it's going to be 9 degrees with 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts.
Oh, it's playoff football.
Brr.
That is playoff football. It is a snow game. And by the way, this line, I believe, actually flipped because earlier in the week, I believe the Bears were the favorite.
Yes.
No. This line opened at 1.5. This line has not moved at all week.
It hasn't. Okay, there was another, I think in another sports book, the Bears were the favorite originally.
Possible. Yeah.
So, I mean, that just goes to show you the back and forth nature of this game because, yeah, obviously Jordan Love has the experience factor. The problem is I just don't think the Packers, regardless of the quarterback situation, the injury, I just don't think the Packers have done enough of impressing in terms of actually making an impact within the last few weeks of the season, the last month of the season or so. I feel like the Bears have done a better job with that. What concerns me, because I was going to go with the over-under play like Ben. What is concerning to me is this weather. I think that you saw a fantastic game back and forth the last time these two teams played. I just don't know about that when you've got 30-mile-per-hour winds, 9 degrees snow chill, 30 to 40-mile-per-hour winds, snow coming into the area. Let me see. This is the recent report that I have. A rain-snow mix is expected to begin on Saturday before switching entirely to snow after 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
It's going to get ugly. It's going to be
ugly. It's going to get ugly and messy at the same
What do you
time.
have, Tom?
So I'm not going to go with a team here. I'm going to avoid this conflict. But then I have a song for you. I'm going under, baby.
All right. So
Yes.
Tom under, and that'll wrap up the Saturday slate. I'm sorry, Grant, you're up next. It is in fact a Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wilson special on CBS. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills heading to Everbank Stadium against Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And once again, it is the road team get the favorite. The Bills, a 1.5-point favorite with a 51.5-point total.
See, this is hard. This is hard because for the first time ever, Josh Allen does not have to face one of Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, or Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. However, his defense is so dog water that he can't keep staying in a game. And the Jaguars are performing considerably well for one of those teams that you thought would, they like the Bears, they're on a first-year head coach, but I thought they would take at least a year to gel in Liam Cohen's first year, but I was completely wrong. They are looking like a quality team, but I don't know who to take here, and the point spread is so small that it's basically pick 'em, but I don't know if I can see 52 points being scored either. And I don't like to take unders. I mean, I do for certain teams.
Grant, I agree. This is a tough one of the tougher lines, I think.
It's hard.
But I am gonna choose a team here, and I'm gonna go with the team that I have seen more often in the playoffs, and that is Josh Allen and the Bills. But at the same time, if I'm wrong on this one, I will applaud the Jaguars at the same time because they have been doing good this year. With that being said, I trust Josh Allen a little bit more. So I'm going to take the Bills to win outright.
All right, who's going to take the money? Mike?
Yeah, I think this, other than the Bears-Packers, I think this is going to be the best game. This game,
I can agree.
I think it's going to be pretty high scoring, but I'm not taking an over-under here. I've seen things from this Jags team that they impress me. They really, really impress me. And honestly, I'm going to say this right now. I think they come out of the AFC. I think they go to the Super Bowl. I don't know what it is with this team. I like them. And with that being said, I'm taking the Jags to cover here, but I think they beat the Bills, and I think they beat them by a touchdown.
All right, Chris.
So you're going Jags outright.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be threading the needle if you weren't doing that.
This is Josh Allen's time. He has no Patrick Mahomes, no Lamar Jackson. There's no excuses whatsoever. And even though the Jaguars have done well under a first-year head coach, I think they've done very well. I've been very impressed by them. I trust the Bills even more, so I'm going Bills -1.5. Here we go. Lock of the week. Ooh.
Nick.
Yeah.
I like the Bills here. Don't get me wrong. Let me be very clear up front. The Jaguars have shown me a lot the entire year. They've played amazing ball. Trevor Lawrence has finally transformed into a really good quarterback and finally getting the reads down and doing everything right. But they do struggle stopping the run. That's a big issue they've had the entire year, stopping the run. And who's on the other side? James Cook, who was one of the best running backs in the league this year. and I think James Cook is going to put on a masterclass clinic against the Jaguars. And I think it's going to be a close game. But I think the Bills, just on the Josh Allen experience, pull this out, and they cover.
Mike, what did you say about totals? You didn't feel comfortable taking one?
I know you. You're just put it up.
Oh, yeah, put it up. Put up the graphic, Nick.
Wait, which one?
The big one.
Which one? Yeah, which version?
Oh, the big one.
Exactly that one. Yes. This game is absolutely going to get loose. I mean, how does it not? Weather's not going to be a factor. I mean, it's supposed to be sunny. It's supposed to be in the 60s there in Jacksonville. No snow. Both teams have great offenses. They have weaknesses on defense. Somebody's going to at least get the 30 for this game for sure. But when I look at this, the Bills have the defense to stop Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence's attack through the air. But if the Jags discover their run game like it did, if they rediscover like they had earlier in the season, that's where the Bills will run into a problem. And I know that the Jags have been solid, especially against the run, but the Bills still do have Josh Allen, and he can still wreak havoc over any team. And with basically a week off because he played like one snap or one series last week, so he had time to rest that foot injury. So weather's not a factor. I love this team to get. I love this game to get into a loose shootout. So yeah, I love the over in this game. I think this is like 34-24 for sure. So that's what I'm going to. Instead of picking a team, I'll take a total. If I was to take a team, if I was forced to take one, I would take the Bills. I think the experience does mean something in this game. Not taking anything away from the Jaguars because they've been one of the hottest teams in the league this year, especially since they got Jacoby Myers. That was the turning point of their season. I trust the experience more, but even not, I think it could be 34-24 either way. So let's take the over as the play. Joshy and the Bills winning. Hey, I can see that too. Yep. Yes. That's kind of where I'm leaning at, but I also could see Trevor doing that as well. Ben?
Yeah, so I think this is a tough one to figure out. I got a counterpoint disagree with Nick when it comes to the Jags not stopping the run. They're actually, I think, to me, one of the best teams stopping the run. And I think the Bills specifically, they're more of a heavy run-first offense this year with James Cook. They haven't been relying on Josh to really be Superman all the time. If they want to have success, you take a look at their game against the Steelers. They really rely on James Cook. And then the Philly game, you look at the end with Josh Allen. Obviously, he didn't come in the clutch there, but Josh obviously doesn't have the weapons like he has had in the past. And him against the AFC South, for some odd reason, has not been his specialty. I mean, you take a look at him against the Jags in the past. He has not played well against them. And he's not played well against the Texans. So I do think the Jags, though, they don't have the experience. And I agree with Nick and John when it comes to experience. Experience matters most when I look at this. But both teams specifically, kind of like the Packers-Bears, have some deficiencies on both sides. I'm actually going to go take the under in this game. I do think the points are going to be hard to come by, and I am rocking with that.
Hold on. Can I address this one for a second?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Caleb has more passing yards, more passing touchdowns, and less interceptions than Josh Allen, just saying facts. Okay, how many wins does Caleb Williams have in the playoffs? Answer that one for me. How many wins? I'm waiting for the Jeopardy music. I'm waiting.
I'm going to counter that. No. Let's focus on this game.
Okay.
Tom, go ahead.
I agree because I have something that I need to say because I have a take. And that is the same kind of take that similar on the path that Grant and Christy were saying that this is Josh Allen's time. I understand that the Bills have some issues with the defense. But you know what? With Josh Allen and his throwing, with James Cook and his running, the Bills' offense is so explosive that they always have had an answer for everything. And right now, as those two and others have mentioned, there was no Patrick Mahomes, no Joe Burrow, no Lamar Jackson, nobody to compete with. He is one of the most, if not, he is the most experienced quarterback of these 7 teams in the AFC when it comes to playoff time. So if I don't know about if he can win the Super Bowl, but I think as a couple of you guys mentioned, when it comes to this playoff run, experience is going to matter. especially in a case where you've got 6 new teams compared to last year's playoff.
Mhm.
Experience is going to matter quite a bit. If Josh Allen if you guys think about it, Lamar Jackson gets a whole lot of flack and a whole lot of stigma for his inability and the Ravens' inability to get to the Super Bowl, in spite of the fact that not everything is his fault. If all that flack is going to go to Lamar Jackson, if Josh Allen gets eliminated in the first round of the divisional, that same flack should go to him too. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And that it's just going to be a matter of fact that people will do that, even if Josh Allen has a hell of a game, because it'll be a matter of you can't win the big one. So I know the Jaguars have been a hell of a team. They've had a hell of a run. I know the Jaguars have done some incredible things and they've had incredible momentum. I'm going to go with the experience and say the Bills. I'm not willing to make this my lock, though. There is another game that is on my mind.
Okay.
Ah,
So you're
okay.
taking what's your play?
Take the money.
All right. And Zan, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is as simple as playoff experience. Which quarterback do I trust more? The quarterback I trust more is Josh Allen. It's pretty simple. I mean, their road to the Super Bowl couldn't really be any easier outside of maybe 1 or 2 teams. So I think this is a good warm-up test in the first round. Give me the Bills to win and cover on the road.
Nick, it is in fact the Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi special on Fox, a 2022 NFC Championship game rematch between Brock Purdy and the 49ers and Jalen Hurts and the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field, and the Eagles are 6-point favorites.
I don't know. I'm worried about both teams just because of injury fronts and all that stuff going on. The Niners. Now, I heard Trent Williams is going to play. It looks like he's going to go, but it looks like Pearsall is going to be out, which is a massive injury for them. Offensively, I think they will be fine. Brock Purdy's finally playing good ball, but I'm worried about their defense, and that's where I think is going to be a massive problem. But the Eagles have scared me too. Jalen Hurts hasn't been playing great as of late, and their offense has been a little bit questionable. So I struggled kind of picking through this matchup slightly, but I think the Eagles will win, but I think the Niners are going to cover. I think it's going to be a close game because I think they're going to play neck and neck. I don't know how much defense is going to be played in this game, but I think it's going to be neck and neck. I think the Eagles win, but the Niners cover.
So Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams are both questionable for Sunday. Williams was practicing on Friday for the second day. And I'm sorry, Pearsall was not seen practicing on Friday. So take that all in. Nick, I think this is actually the toughest game of the 6 to pick because there's reasons to back the 49ers, Brock Purdy, better coaching, and that their opponent hasn't been all that convincing at times this season. But then there are reasons to back the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, the experience that they have in the playoffs, their recent solid play against competitive teams, and Lane Johnson being in there, and the schedule comparison. That all being said, though, I'm going under 40. I'm going with the under in this game more than a team, and there's a couple of reasons why I love the under more. Saquon Barkley being back there after resting in Week 18. And I think the 49ers offense, we saw it struggle against the Seahawks defense. I think it's going to struggle against the Eagles defense, which is better than the Seahawks. So I do like the under more than picking a team. Ben?
Yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. This is a very tough game because the Niners have been the walking mooted, but they've been the very good walking mooted all season, which I give them a lot of credit for because there's not a lot of teams that can do what they've been doing without Fred Warner and Nick Bosa. And Brock Purdy's been played well. I mean, I know obviously he didn't play well against Seattle. The Eagles are such a weird team because you don't really know what type of team you're going to get with them. However, they have been playing better the last couple games. I do like momentum coming in. And the biggest thing I look at this is when I look at these two teams, home field advantage. And that is Philly. They play well at home. 6 points. I like 6 points here. I'm going to take Philly here to cover.
Okay. Tom?
I'll wait for Ben's cash register. Okay, there you go. By the way, Ben, I would like to claim some of the trademark infringement from last week, stealing the name I gave the 49ers last week and just changing it on your own. The Walking Dead of the NFL.
Walking Dead.
The 49ers really are the Walking Dead of the NFL. No matter
Sorry.
what you throw at them, this team just constantly delivers. But you know what? Johnny, you mentioned a Saquon Barkley. I'd like to counter you with a Christian McCaffrey, who's probably going to give a very hard time to the Eagles defense.
Yeah.
I think as much as, they have the questionable Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams, I think the 49ers have done a hell of a job. And honestly, when you really think about it, they were just one win away from being the number one seed. The Eagles, I think this line, as great as the Eagles can be, this line is a little bit disrespectful when it comes to the fact that the Eagles had a really rough second half and it only just started to turn things around in the middle of December. So there was a very famous song from, I believe it was Tyga about a decade ago, called Rock City. Now I know the seeding. Doesn't, isn't one to really be a thing because the wild card, the NFL playoff structure could be that the wild card has the better record. But if we're going with, if we're going by seeding, not only am I taking 49ers +6, we're taking a trip to Upset City. I think 49ers win this game outright in Philly.
Ooh, okay. Grant.
Man. Oh God.
Do you want me to skip you and come back to you?
No, it's fine. It's I just don't know who to pick because both these teams could be a high school. You really don't know which team you're going to get with each of these teams every week. And I don't know if I can see the Eagles winning by a touchdown or the 49ers winning by a touchdown. I mean, for example, I hate to use this as an example because I'm just dipping into my fandom here. But, 3 weeks ago or whatever, the Bears and 49ers played each other and it was a 38-42 game, which honestly came one play away from being a
Grant, you're going off topic.
Sorry.
That's all right. I know where you're coming at with that, but what does that happen with this game? What transpires? I know it's a tough one. But
both of these games could be a high scoring game or a low scoring game. And I'm gonna go with over because I don't know if I can trust either the Eagles or the 49ers to win by 6.
I got you. Okay. Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this a lot. With the 49ers, it all depends on how Brock Purdy plays because, like, the Eagles, their run game could be very suspicious. Like, their run-stopping game, like, McCaffrey could go for, like, 153 touchdowns on the ground against them. But then same thing, Saquon could do the same thing against the 49ers. So it's like, you don't know what you're going to get. I don't take unders, and I think this game is going to be like a field goal type game. Like it's going to come down to a last-second field goal. And with that, so that means I'm going to take the 49ers at +6.5 just because that's the safer play with what I think this game is going to be. So I'm going to go 49ers +6.5 here.
Okay.
Or 6.
Yeah, +6. That's fair. Christy, go ahead.
All right. I don't feel comfortable taking either team because I don't like either one of them. The 49ers are a walking mash unit. The Eagles are a clown show. So I'm going to take the over because I think one of these guys said it. It could come down to a field goal pretty much.
Zan.
Yeah, I'm going to go opposite. And I'm actually going to take the under simply just because I don't know what version of either of these teams is going to show up. And I don't know if the weather is going to be as severe as what the weather is going to be in Chicago. But I think some sort of element in regards to the conditions is going to play a factor. So I'm staying away from either team, and I'm taking the total. So give me the under in the game.
All right. We're split all over the place there. And
Sorry, just to answer Zan's question. So it's going to be about 35-40 degrees.
Yeah, I still don't think enough points will be scored to hit that number, but I'm very, very prepared to be wrong.
We'll find out.
He's right about that.
All right.
Weather.
Ben, it is in fact a Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark special on NBC. As we go to Gillette Stadium, we've got Justin Herbert's Chargers going against Drake May, and your New England Patriots. And it is the Pats who are laying 3.5.
Drake, May. There you go. Okay. All right.
Oh man.
First of all, I'm very excited for this one, of course. The last time, obviously, we got a playoff game was 2021, but it was in Buffalo. The last home playoff game we've had, it was since Tom Brady in 2019, which, of course, didn't happen the way I wanted to, but it's what it is. So I think the fans are going to be riled up. They'll be ready to go. The Pats definitely just been a really fun story this year. They have been. That's just not me being a biased fan. That's just been the truth. No matter if people want to talk about the schedule or not. And yeah, Drake, we'll have to obviously take a look and see how he's going to do. A lot of people have been obviously comparing him to Justin Herbert, so it's kind of ironic how his first playoff game is going to be against Justin Herbert. I think that's really interesting. Mm-hmm. The Chargers unfortunately, the Chargers, their offensive line is terrible. I looked at some of their grades specifically this week, and they have some guys that are like in the worst of the worst. So hopefully the Pats specifically can be able to attack, because that's, I think, a really big part of this game. If Nick Day can knock it to Justin Herbert, he definitely can carve him. And the one thing I'm definitely curious to see what the Pats do defensively is, can they play man coverage? Because the last couple of weeks, for some odd reason, they've been playing zone, and they've been getting carved up, even at Quinn Ewers last week, which I don't understand. So literally play cover, go on Ladd, go on Johnson, and a couple other guys. Their running attack is okay, not great. And getting guys back like Milton Williams, Robert Spillane, I think really helps defensively a lot. So, yeah, Pats are definitely win this game, and this is my lock.
Yeah.
Tom?
First of all, Ben, I want to thank you for giving me the acknowledgement back in the 49ers-Eagles game. So now I'm going to pay it back to you with this. Pretty simple. As you mentioned, the Chargers' offensive line, I've got plenty of concerns about. Just ask the damage that Justin Herbert has taken over the course of the last couple of seasons, including this one. Patriots have just been an explosive team. They have been one of the best teams in the league this year. And I got to give credit to Mike Vrabel for the development that Drake May has gone through over the course of last season and this season. It's been unbelievable to see. You were mentioning, Ben, about the concerns about man versus man play with the defense and how they've been getting carved up. Yeah, I don't see that with this game. When they play a team like the Broncos or the Bills, yeah, I could definitely see that becoming an issue. I don't really see that becoming an issue against the LA Chargers. Not saying the LA Chargers are a bad team, but they just don't have the juice compared to what we've seen with the Patriots this year. The Patriots, it's not an anti-Chargers pick. It's a pro-Pats pick.
Zan?
Yeah, before I get into my analysis, let's make this one really simple. Patriots lock of the week first. And 2 more points before we move on. Number 2, the Patriots are my AFC representative in the Super Bowl, so I got to ride with them until they lose. Jeez. And number 3, I have, besides maybe the team that I root for, I have never seen at least a greater story in the NFL this season than this New England team. I got to give it a credit and testament to Nick Morganson. It was week 4 or week 5 where we were sitting on ETB Sports, and when I both started thinking in our heads, wow, New England might be a team that's a Super Bowl sleeper. And look where they are. They're hosting a playoff game against a Chargers team that's a little bit shaky. You cannot ask for a better scenario right now, and especially Ben sitting over there who's a Patriots fan. If I was a diehard Patriots fan, I would be over the moon too. So give me the Patriots to win cover, and as we just alluded to, it's my lock of the week.
Zen, just don't make me emotional, man. That was awesome. I loved that.
So Michael here is saying that the lock of the week play is crazy.
What?
Come on now.
Christy,
really?
Christy, you already used your lock, so you can't play here.
I know.
What's your play in this game?
I mean, look, the Patriots, since Mike Vrabel has been the coach, you can clearly see how this team has just evolved and gotten better, especially Drake May as the quarterback. I think he's, excuse me, not only has he gotten better, he's just thrived. There's no question about it. So I'm going Patriots -3.5.
Mike?
Yeah, I like the Patriots here. I really do. I think they're gonna win, but I think it's gonna come down to a field goal. But I think there's gonna be a lot of points here. Like I have a feeling Justin Herbert's gonna throw away from Christian Gonzalez. So I don't know who else is at corner for the Patriots. Okay, but whoever Christian Gonzalez is guarding, they're not getting the ball. He's going to the other side, and I have a feeling that could really help him. And who's the Chargers tight end? What's his name? The rookie. Gaskin. Gaskin's been playing crazy. He's been good all year. So I'm gonna go over 45.5, but I do think the Patriots win this game. But I'm just not confident with that 0.5.
Fair.
Got you. Grant.
Yeah, I mean, everyone here made some great points. I will say this, Michael, in the comment section, I don't think the lock of the week is crazy for whoever you're referring to.
I think he's referring to us with the Pats.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's not crazy.
It's reasonable.
I mean, you look at what the Pats have done, and also I have to say I am a little sad for Charger fans because you got Jim Harbaugh, a couple years ago. He's been a great coach for you guys, but both the years that he's been in the playoffs, if tomorrow or Sunday goes how most of us think it's going to go, he's been a one and done in both the years that he's been back with the Chargers. And I'm sorry to say this, but I am one of those people that is going to think that he's another one and done this year because the Pats and Drake May have just been they're lethal. I'm sorry I can't believe that I'm saying this, but the Patriots could be back in the Super Bowl after just 1 year of a terrible coach, which I really wish took longer. I'm sorry, Ben, but to say that, but I mean, you go from Bill Belichick to Mike Vrabel. I'm sorry.
Right. So,
it's a world of difference.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Pats.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Because you already took a lock. Sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
I like the Patriots. Even the Jets fan here likes the Patriots. Not, but, well, on top of it, I like the Patriots too. I mean, the Patriots are the obviously better team in this matchup. No one's talking about the Justin Herbert injury. No one's factoring that in whatsoever with his broken hand. And like people are going to say, "Oh, he'll be fine. He'll wear a glove." How is Aaron?
I've said he's taken damage because of a terrible offensive line.
No, I agree. But I'm just saying, look at all the factors in the game we're going to talk about after this. But look at how Aaron Rodgers was affected by the non-throwing hand and how it's affecting him. I think of Herbert the same way. It's been affecting him. And he can't escape the pocket either. And it's harder for him to embrace when he's getting sacked also. So that's another factor that he's going to have to be quicker out of the pocket. So, yeah, I like the Patriots. I think the Chargers are also a disappointment again for the umpteenth year in a row that I've counted the Chargers. Everyone says they're going to be a good team. Patriots lock of the week.
Well, the reason why that that's not being brought up about the Charger offensive line is because the Pats ranked 22nd in the league in defense and sacks. So that would be your one concern is can the Pats take advantage of that Achilles heel, the Chargers? I don't think they will. But the Pats have the advantage in that they know how to play in conditions like this, unlike the Chargers.
Yep.
And I mean, Justin Herbert is the more seasoned guy, but this is only his third career postseason start. So while Drake May is prone to mistakes in what is his first postseason start, he's been shown to have great. I mean, he's shown great poise this year, which is what's made him an MVP contender. And I know that the Chargers defense ranks in the top in units in the league. I'm not high on the Chargers offense though in this game. So just like in the past, Patriots win a home playoff game, and lock of the week, Patriots.
Yep. Does that mean now that all of us are going to be cursed because Johnny took it as a lock of the week?
Well, Nick, if we lose, I can blame it on you. Not on Johnny.
Oh, man. Well, to be fair, if it makes you feel, I know, if it makes you feel a little bit better, the person that won the most weeks of anybody this season was me. I won 5.
Oh,
No,
I'm not
you're
denying
wrong.
that. I'm not denying that.
No, what
Okay.
this also feels like, though, and the reason why it's a little nerve-wracking, this does feel like it could come down to a Borgalis field goal at the end, and it's a 3-point game.
Fair.
Pretty much.
But I'm not high on the Charter offense, but we'll see. It should be a great one there to close out the week. And at least Mike, actually, Nick D has taken the Chargers plus 3.5, so it's not an entire clean sweep. And Mike didn't touch a team, so it does prevent that from being a total sweep. Well, Pat's by 3. That's still a win. That's fine. Pat's
That
money
works.
line means they only need to win by 3.
That's
So
good.
that
It's
does
fair.
count.
Just so you
It
guys
is.
know, me and Michael actually know Michael.
Oh,
Right, you do.
okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little
Whenever he
undercover.
bets on
I
a
got it.
team, they lose. So
Oh, okay. Very interesting.
All right, Tom. The last game of Wild Card Weekend is a Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Lisa Salters, Laura Rutledge special on ESPN and ABC. As we've got the Houston Texans not playing at a Saturday 4:30 game. It's a Monday nighter for the Texans. They go to Aquashore Stadium against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, and it is the Texans once again, the road team favored. They're 3-point favorites.
RELAX.
Thank you. Thank you for
Holy
beating me
cow.
to that because I know you knew I was going to do it, Nick. This is going to be a great game when it comes to the defensive units because Steelers have a great defense, but and Johnny will be happy with me for saying this. If there's one team who is a dangerous team in the AFC, maybe even in this whole NFL playoff picture, it is the Houston Texans. The way that this team has performed in a very quiet fashion has been
Agreed.
something.
That's the perfect word to describe them as quiet. You are 100% right.
Quiet and dangerous. And usually, what do they say? The quiet ones are always the most dangerous.
Yes.
And when you look at it, yeah, I know the offense definitely has taken strides backwards from CJ Stroud's rookie campaign. But I got to give credit where credit is due, and that when you've got that kind of defense, Kenneth Gainwell's had a breakout season for the Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers.
The year.
What happened?
He made the catch of the year a couple of weeks ago.
I cannot believe he made that kind of catch.
That was
Well,
insane.
actually, it was the catch of the year and probably the touchdown of the year for Aaron Rodgers.
Well,
Go ahead,
that was
Tom.
going to be. Well, my point was going to be that Aaron Rodgers, credit where it's due. Incredible comeback season. They managed to, get the 10th win that Mike Tomlin. It's not going to be a 9-8. It's not going to be a 500. It's a 10th win and a playoff spot. But that Texans defense, I think I have more faith in the Texans defense to counteract the Pittsburgh offense. And see, they're going to do enough that CJ Stroud and company just needs to do enough on their side. So Houston Texans, take the money. I like the road favorite.
Grant?
Yeah, I'm taking the road favorite as well. I mean, Tom mentioned everything that I would probably have also said, but also Chicago fan, hatred for Aaron Rodgers, always. Always. So,
Always.
and honestly, for the rest of you guys on the show, there's a total argument for if anyone wants to take an under. I mean, both defenses are great, so I could totally see under 38.5 points being scored too. But I'm going to take the Texans.
I was tempted to. I don't know. CJ, with the kind of quarterback CJ Stroud and Aaron Rodgers are, that line's a little too, a little too low.
Mike?
yeah, the Texans defense is like you guys said it all. Their defense is crazy, and I like the AFC South teams this year. I don't know what's with me, but I like the Texans to win here. I will say my Aaron Rodgers hatred is obviously there, but he did give me some points later in the season, so I do thank him there. But but the It all depends on how the Texans' offense is, because we know the defense is going to stop the Steelers. It's just whether or not they can score points. So I think they can. I think they can win by more than 3 points here. So I'm going to take the Texans money line. Their money. Take the money. Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
I got you. Christy?
I mean, both teams definitely, like Tom said, I mean, quiet and dangerous. That's who the Texans are. Quiet yet dangerous. So I'm going to go Texans. Take the money.
Zan?
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite of you guys, at least so far. For those who made picks, I actually really like the Steelers here, and the biggest reason for it is simply this. I just think this Houston Texans team on the road plays a little bit differently, and I think Rodgers wants to keep the momentum going, knowing that this is more than likely his last year. And this is no slight at the Steelers, but the Steelers really did get a gift for the Ravens missing that field goal this past week, and I think Pittsburgh is going to take advantage of it for at least another week going into the divisional rounds. So give me the Steelers to win outright.
All right. Nick?
All right, ETB Sports Symmetry going on here. I like the Steelers too. And I'll say 2 words, DK Metcalf, which no one has mentioned yet. DK Metcalf being back from the 2-game suspension, massive factor. I know I've said this, and Johnny, you could back me up. I've given a ton of respect to the Texans defense for the second half of the season. But I think DK Metcalf is a massive factor. The Steelers offense looked lost the past couple of weeks without Metcalf because they didn't have that standalone weapon out there for Aaron to throw to. And I want to be clear about something else. The Steelers and Aaron Rodgers were not the reason they lost the game. I mean, or that they were going to lose the game against the Ravens. It was just fundamentally they kind of cracked down the stretch. And obviously if it wasn't for that missed kick, then we'd be talking about a reverse scenario if Mike Tomlin's still a coach. But I think the Steelers are going to come out. I think the offense is going to play decently with Metcalf back. I think the karma is there now that they got the opportunity to advance. And I don't know what to expect from CJ Stroud. It's a little bit up and down a little bit. So I like the Steelers.
Ben, I got to tell you, I was thinking of you because for a while there, it looked like we were going to have a Patriot-Texan first-round matchup, and I think that would have been a nightmare for you guys. So I'm glad you got out of that. You got a much more favorable matchup with the Chargers, in my opinion, than the Texans. Zan and Nick, you guys are making great points. I absolutely could see going that way. And Nick, if you didn't bring it up, I was going to bring it up next. DK Metcalf, that definitely helps the Steelers' offense. But my thing is I just still think, though, that the Texans have more players who can win the individual matchups. So see, this would have been a lock choice for me because you guys know how high I am on the Texans, but I feel like this actually can be a 3-point game. I think this is almost going to be like last week, and I think Fairbairn might go down there and kick one at the very end. So I couldn't touch a lock where I would push at, but I'm still riding high on the Texans here to win this game. Barely. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be low scoring, but their momentum is for real. I think last week you don't take anything out of last week. I mean, if anything, the fact they actually put up a lot of points actually is a little bit scary. Is if the big key is if the Texan offensive line can continue to improve like it has in the second half of the year, that's what will help CJ Stroud and company. So I'm still gonna lay them until I find a reason that they don't do it. I'm gonna take the money. And Ben.
Yeah, so you're right, Johnny. I'm very thankful that we would not want to face them in the first round. So it's very interesting because I want to pick this. I hope the Steelers win. For my case, if we win, but I'm rocking with the better defense here, and that is Houston. Do I love it? No. I think Nick, like mentioned about DK Metcalf, that's massive. However, I do think, yes, DK is obviously back, but the Texans have Derek Stingley Jr. who could be able to counterpoint that too. So I think that's massive. If they didn't have that, I do think there obviously is a little bit more to worry about. The Aaron Rodgers, 40 whatever years old, against that Texans front really worries me. I don't know specifically he's going to be able to run a lot against a team like this. And I definitely think, the Texans have 2 guys on the outside with Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter that could really just wreck the game by itself. I mean, you look at what they did against the Bills earlier on this season. They essentially just wrecked the whole entire time. And, CJ basically had to just play minimal football at best. And they found a way. So I'm gonna go Texans here. It's only 3 points. Do I love it? No. Do I hope they win? No. But I'll pick them.
Do I want them to win? No.
But you know what, though? You're putting your biases aside and making the right play. So that'll be it. And that puts a wrap on the wild card round edition of the Football Forecast. So let's give you a couple of programming notes here as we wrap up the show this week. Debut show. Well, first off, let's talk about these guys. Gridiron Gurus, Ben, Grant, Michael coming aboard on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern start time. So they'll go over the Saturday games, get you ready for the Sunday with any last-minute breaking news. Maybe there'll be another coaching move that's made between now and then. We'll find out. So stay tuned for the guys there. Also, what's debuting this on Saturday, tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, the ETB Lounge. This will be the Saturday edition with Nick DiMartino as he opens the doors starting tomorrow at 10 p.m. So you have Callan on Monday nights and you have Nick D on Saturday nights. And, this worked out well, so let's do it again. The divisional round edition, the divisional playoffs edition of the Football Forecast. Again, we'll do it live again next Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. So we'll get you ready for one of the best weekends of the football calendar. So that'll happen there. So, of course, check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network, where we continue to grow there. You can get all of our podcasts as well. And you can also follow us at TFB Forecast ETB across social media. All right, guys, enjoy the weekend. This is going to be an epic one. We've obviously have 2 college football days, which happened on Thursday, and one happening in about a few minutes, and then 3 straight days of wild card football.
Yes.
By the way, I just want to say 126 people watching live concurrently on this platform, which means we are going to come back and do it live for the rest of the playoffs because it has been working.
And thank you for everybody who's been commenting.
Yeah, thank you all. Yes,
thank you, everybody.
We appreciate it. Even if we don't agree with you, we do.
Exactly.
By the way, this is a free and open platform. You can comment. You can say you hate us. I don't care. We won't agree, but you can say whatever you want. It won't be the first time I've heard hate or crazy comments from this.
Hey, this isn't the first time we've had a flame war involved in the middle of the show.
Flame war.
All right, let's get out of here. All right.
Yes.
So that'll do it for the show. You want to close it out?
Absolutely. Yeah. So for everybody here at the ETB Network, I'm Johnny Montalbano. Go enjoy your football weekend, everybody, and we'll catch you live again next week.
Yeah, everybody.
Have a good one.